Welcome back, everybody. Today we are out at one of the local parks here right in the middle of town where, it's just like a wooded area that has some trails on it. And we're going out because we've been asked to make some medicine for a toothache. So we're going to do just that. We're going to make a mouthwash. But I wanted to stop in right here at the parking lot and show you our first plant. And in this case, we have that slightly reddish stem down at the base that turns finally green coming up. We have these spear-shaped leaves. They are on opposing sides of each other, right? So these two are that way, these two are that way, and then they're junctioning right here. These will produce a yellow 5-petaled leaf. This is St. John's wort. It's really good internally for a lot of things, from anti-inflammation. It's an excellent mood stabilizer. It helps with antidepressant. Come here, Olive. It's really good for skin care and wound care, but it also fights with a heck of a lot of different medicines. So you have to be very careful what you use it with. Come on, guys. Let's go this way. No, come on, this way. Come on. All right. This is all milkweed. And this is amazing stuff because it comes up, and the monarchs and a lot of the butterflies and that use that as a food source. So all through here we have our cow vetch. And so again, with our cow vetch, we're looking at the leaves, and our leaves, these ones haven't flattened out yet, but they will. So for now we just see them as a single pair. And they come to that point, right? Like a spear tip. If they were oval, much more oval, that would be cow vetch. Easiest way to tell, to be safe, is you find the flowers. If they're in a line along one side, like these guys are, that's a cow vetch. These will produce essentially green beans. And in the beginning of the year, when they're fresh and green, they'll be high in protein. And then later in the year, when they turn brown, they will be high in carbohydrates. And they're just like any other bean. They, there's like a kidney bean. They have to be, in order to be totally safe, they have to be dried and then rehydrated and then cooked. You can eat them green, but it's one of those famine foods. You don't want to eating a ton of them just as is. Here's another great one. So wild strawberries, right? Easy to see. They're perfect right now. We have these beautiful 3 leaves, that red stem, and they're branching back to each plant, vining out, and yeah, wild strawberries. The leaves are 3, they got those tooth-edged. Yep, and these are a white flower on the outside with a yellow middle, and these are nice and sweet. Okay, we will continue on. If I find any more, oh, here we go. All cow vetch right here. Tons and tons and tons of it. Okay, if I find anything else, I'll jump back on. All right, guys, not too far down the trail here. We don't have any flowers yet to show you, but we have this vetch. Do you see how much more oval these are? This is cat or crown vetch. When this produces the same as that flowers, but they'll be in a crown shape around the top, not along the stem. So crowns we don't eat, cows we do. And when these come up later in the year and we see some flowers, I'll show you the difference. And yeah, so you can tell easily by these leaves, because the young shoots are edible on the cow vetch, not on crown vetch. So this is not edible where those other ones were. And you can really see the difference in the shape of the leaves, and later in the year here when we see some flowers on these guys, I'll show you. And we'll keep following those throughout the year. Okay, we actually haven't gone very far. We're still right here with all that crown vetch. But I noticed down in here that we have this popping up. So this, again, is one of our happy 3. And in this case, this one is Creeping Charlie. You see how it has those like rounded toothed leaves? It's got those mint flowers, a square stem, and there's not really any purple to the leaves themselves. If these were heart-shaped and got purple on the top, that would be purple dead nettle. If this was starting getting purple up in here, and by up here had very purple but the same shape, that would be henbit. So in this case, it's creeping Charlie. We're gonna gather some of this for our tooth medicine. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and we'll get back to you. All right, everyone. So we've come up the trail a pretty good ways, and it's pretty established, as you see. It's not up here a ways. We're gonna go off of this main trail into a side trail, but it's still very established. But where we've stopped is up a ways from where they spray anything. As you can see, they bring the mower through here. But here in this low growth, we have all of this, and this is clover, and it is extremely medicinal, has great qualities, it makes great tea, and in this case, we're going to use it in our toothache mouthwash. So I'm going to gather a whole bunch of this up, and white and red clover are both medicinal, both edible. Red I prefer to use for medicinal qualities, but I do mix them both in pretty interchangeably. They are edible. You can just go ahead and have them in a salad or wherever you want. The white tastes a lot like honey because it's a very common flower used to make honey. The red is a little sweeter than the white, because it has a higher sugar content, but it is also not as readily available out and about as white clover is. So we'll get a handful of this stuff, and we will go ahead and get on the trail and find the next thing. These dogs are sweating, so we're gonna get underneath the trees. All right, so we actually haven't moved at all. We're in the exact same spot as we've been picking our clover. I went to get up and I realized that here, all over the place, these spears here, where it has this squarish, almost squarish stem, so it's like a little more ridge than a square stem is, but it is very, very square still. It comes up, and they, as you see, they split off in pairs, opposite sides to each other. This will produce a club flower, and again, it's part of the mint family, and this is called self-heal. Really amazing stuff. We'll cover this in the year, but for now, those leaves are very indicative. Very beautiful plant. As it grows later in the year, I'll show you how to identify it very easily. Once you've really identified it, you'll be able to identify it anywhere. But the easiest way is going to be the flowers. So as soon as that flower is up in here, we will be here to show you. All right, I'm gonna get a bunch of this. We need this. This is antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, you kind of name it. So we're gonna get this stuff in there and muddle up and put it into our tea to help reduce inflammation and a whole bunch of things inside of those sore teeth. So I'm gonna gather a bunch of this and we'll keep on moving. Come on, girls, let's keep moving. All right, guys, so we're coming to the end of the cut trail, and this big apple tree is my marker. We find this big apple tree right here, and we're gonna follow this trail in and around. And it's a lot of good growth in here. It's been a drier year than last year, so it'll be interesting to see what's what. In here, oh, there's a bunch of forget-me-nots. In here, we are mostly looking for birch trees. We're going to consult the birch trees and see if we can get any chaga. That is all burdock. The roots of that are edible, and they're actually really good roasted. North America is one of the few continents that doesn't grow the stuff and cultivate it, unfortunately, and I think we should. It is a very good root vegetable, and it grows kind of everywhere. It's easily to grow, it's easy to establish. Oh, here we go. Girls, wait. Yeah, so this is chaga. The stuff we want is in there. It's in here. So we're gonna see if we can find a better example of it, but if not, we're coming back to here, because this outside stuff is pretty ruined, right? It's pretty toasty, but that in there is the stuff we want. There's not much here, so I'd rather not pull it out of here if I don't have to. So we're gonna check the other trees, but if not, we're coming back for that. So we're gonna go around and see what we can find. There's a lot of birch trees in here, and this is like perfect habitat for chaga growth. So we're gonna go to all these little trees and take a peek, see what we can't see. I'd love to find a very large deposit. That would be the easiest. Hurry up, girls. All right. So there's this new one starting. You can see how that is a fungal growth coming out of the tree. So that's a brand new one starting up. We'll check the rest of the tree. Nothing down low. I am seeing some up high, but we are not climbing a tree today. We're out here by ourselves with the dogs. So no tree climbing for us right now. But we'll go over here and we'll check in a few more of these birch trees. See what we can't find. This way, girls. Come on. Yeah. It is a beautiful ridge line up in here. But yeah, magic is everywhere. This medicine is everywhere. We just have to look for it, take our time, and we'll find it. All right, let's see what else. I'm not seeing any large deposits bigger than the one that we've already found, so we may we'll continue on because that's on the trail on the way back out. So worst comes to worst, we don't find anything and we hit that on the way back out of here. So we'll go along this ridge line and we'll take a look over. Come here, Luna. All right, guys, I gotta fix up Luna's collar. I'll be right back. Okay, we got Luna all fixed up. She had caught her leg up in her harness, and today we have Olive with us, and we need them both to be on leash because we're right in town, right? There's other people out here. We gotta be respectful. Olive, this side of the tree. All right, we're getting back onto the trail, and we'll walk down this way a little way to see what else we can find in here. There are some beaver in here, so that's pretty cool. Maybe we'll get lucky and see one of those today. Oh, there's tons of big chaga up there, but that's all 30, 40 feet up that tree. So helpful, but not to us, not right now. We'll go up to here, not too far, just to where the beavers are, and then we'll turn around and double back. Up in here, there should be some, actually, yeah, here comes one right now. We're gonna get some cedar to go in this. And where we are, we have mostly white cedar. And the easiest way to tell is you go ahead and you find your cedar tree. So we see that peely bark, right? We see the needle leaves. And if we look at these ones, these are like a bunch of little leaves all connected into the shape of a needle. This is white cedar. If they're needles, just like a spruce tree, so if they kind of have more of that needle look to them, that is a red cedar. So we're gonna go ahead and pick some of this white cedar. I'm gonna get a bunch of this together for our mouthwash, not our tea. I keep saying tea, but I mean mouthwash. So we're gonna go ahead and get a bunch of that, and I'll be back with you. All right, so we have got our cedar, and we're gonna keep moving. This opening up in here, you can start seeing where the beavers have been cutting down trees. So we're getting pretty close to their dammed area. So we're gonna get there, and that's where we're gonna turn ourselves around, head back out. I might swing by in here and grab some of these fresh, even though I have spruce syrup to put in this, I think I'm gonna get some fresh spruce needles to go in this. We'll see on the way back out with that. Oh, here is red clover. So we can see the difference about how much taller the plant is getting, how it's branching out. White stays really close to the ground. It's red that gets up and tall like this. And so we're gonna get a bit of this. We have to be careful. There is a spit bug there, so we gotta watch out for those guys. But we're gonna get some of this to go in it, and we'll keep moving. I'll be right back with you guys. We've got our clover, and we're right to where the beavers are now, actually. So we're gonna turn around here, but we'll walk down and see them. Every year they grow a little bit more and do a little bit more. This is where I get some of my wand wood from too. Art wood comes from in here. All right, girls, come on. Let's turn it around. Come on, let's turn it around. This way, girls, girls. Hey, hey, this way. Come on, Olive, come on. This way. Oh, there's more vetch. And again, we have those narrow leaves, not the wide ovals. So this is cow vetch. Easiest way to tell is when you wait for the leaves, and then after that comes the flowers, which are pretty indicative. And then later in the year, they'll grow their beans, and we'll check on them from there. All right, we're gonna head our way back out to that chaga tree, and we are going to go ahead and get a little bit off of that. We're not making a whole ton, we're just making one jar, so we don't really need a lot. I was hoping to find a good bit so I could just stock up on it, but that's okay. We found how much we needed anyway. So the forest has provided for what we have, for what we need. And when we need some more, we'll come back out, look at these couple other trees that are growing it, see what else we can find. I'm sure it's all over down in here, but I have to wait for a day not to have the girls. That's like a 75-foot slope. I don't really want to try to maneuver around trees with 2 dogs while going up and down that and searching trees. So we'll wait until they're not with us. We'll go down there, and then we can look for our chaga. We can climb some trees if we need to. For now, we will go back and take a little bit off that one tree that we found already and go from there. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get back to that tree and I'll show you then. All right, so we're at that chaga tree, and just using my simple knife, I am basically just getting in on these cracks, and I'm just going to pry lightly. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. And we're gonna wiggle some loose. There we go. We can put away our knife. And then we've got our beautiful chaga. So that's all we need right there, that little chunk. Because inside of here, we only need that. So we want that beautiful golden color. This is almost a little past prime, but this is the best we're gonna get today. So obviously that's just from up in the bark of the tree, right? Because this tree is rotting out, so it's coming apart. But yeah, that's what we need right down there. So we'll get that into our bag, and we're gonna go double back. So the way to get out is actually that way, but we are gonna double that down a different trail and take a little, not really a shortcut, more like a detour. We've already been that way, so we know what plants were there and what medicines were there and all that. So we're gonna head down this way and see if we can't find anything different, you know? There might be some more chaga trees down here. There could be a few things. We haven't found any pineapple weed yet. I really like to put some pineapple weed in this. And you know, if I find anything of opportunity, then we'll grab that too. But for now, we're gonna keep on keeping on. I'm pretty content with what we have already. I'm going to be making a mouthwash and then 2 tinctures. The one will be these herbs. The other tincture will be just cloves, themselves. You just take whole cloves, you grind some up, you keep some whole, and you put those in with vinegar, or not with vinegar, that would taste terrible, and with alcohol, and you let that extract. And then you take a cotton ball, you dip it in that and put it on whatever tooth is hurting you, and it will help take that away. So we're gonna do that one, plus we're gonna make this mouthwash and this tincture out of this herbal remedy too. So we'll get some of that made up, and we'll get it to our client and see if we can get her teeth feeling better. So yeah, this is a little more open in here. Lots and lots of forget-me-nots, lots of buttercups, ferns, bracken, dandelions, lots of good stuff. Some goldenrod. We don't really need goldenrod right now, but there's some goldenrod here. Yeah, our forests are finally in full bloom. We finally have leaves on trees. We have 10,000 mosquitoes every few feet. You know, everything's back where it should be. So we are enjoying ourselves. Mosquitoes and all. Come on, girls, let's keep moving. All right. This trail is not too much longer, and we're going to come out on the bottom of the hill where we just were. And then we're going to walk the fence line and see what else we can find. It's a nice little 20-minute walk through the woods here. Nothing crazy. And we get the medicine we need from a source that we know is much more safe and reliable. And we'll see if we can't help some hurting teeth here. I wish we had, there's a few different plants that are known for toothache. In fact, a couple of them are literally called toothache plant. And I wish we had access to that, but we do not. So we're going to use what we do have access to make what we can make. So yeah, here we are. After all that little trail, we come right back out, and that's the way we went up. That's the hill we were picking our creeping Charlie on earlier and looking at our crown vetch versus cow vetch. That's the trail we went up, and that's the one we came out. So we're going to go down this way. Come on, girls. To the edge of this field and along the edge of it and see what edge habitat has to offer us. Right where the sun is shining, but the plants are not being mowed down. So we'll see what we can see. Oh, here we go. Oh, no, sorry, guys. I thought that was going to be our first self-heal flower of the year, but it's not. It's just a really, really short cow vetch. One of my favorite little things over here is to come to the end, and then we're going to slip around the side. Come on, girls. And look at this. Just lupine heaven in here. Overlooking the water, great place to meditate. I'm going to grab a couple of these for the honey bunch, and if I find anything else that is worth stopping and looking at, I'll get you guys back out. But if not, then this will be the end of things for this movie or this show here, and we'll get back with you on the next one. Until then, please be kind to yourself. Remember that you are brave, you are strong, you are smart, you are valuable. So treat yourself as such, so the rest of us have you around to learn from and to hang out with, and to, you know, we need people for nourishment. We really do. So be kind to yourself so you're there for everyone else. I appreciate you all. Thank you for watching. All right, so that was it for the hike, guys. We're home now, and we're gonna go ahead and sort out. We've got our self-heal, some creeping Charlie. The other half of the creeping Charlie is in our pot before we're going to do our mouthwash. We've got everything else ready, and I'm going to go ahead and grind this into a paste, put it in a bowl. I'll grind the tea stuff, put that into a bowl, and we'll keep splitting everything up, and once I get everything ground up, we'll go from there. All right, everyone. So we've gone ahead. We've got stuff muddled up, got it in our pot. We're going to go ahead and get our water going. We're going to bring this to almost to a boil, and then we're going to cover it and turn it off and let it steam low and slow until it comes back down to room temperature, and then we'll drain it out. And then we have one that's got the same ingredients. We've only got a small bit of alcohol in it right now. It is lidded, so we can, every half hour or so, give it a shake, and we'll keep doing that for the first couple weeks, and we'll try this out and see how this works. The only thing that we didn't forage that we added were cloves. And obviously we just made ours with some high-grade alcohol. For tincture, this is just basically a really strong tea is what we're aiming for. Just a, mouthwash, rinse and spit sort of thing. So we're going to go ahead and try these out and see how they go for toothache. And we'll report back. I appreciate you all watching. Alright guys, so we've gone ahead and we've boiled and steeped and then let it cool while we had it covered, and this is what we've ended up with. So I'm gonna run this through a cheesecloth and then get it into a bottle, and then they will go ahead and gargle this, and this is essentially a really strong tea. So they'll gargle it and then spit it. I wouldn't advise drinking it just because it is so strong. But it tastes a lot like cloves too, so it'd be a very, very odd tasting tea to be drinking on. But yes, we'll get this run through a cheesecloth and we'll get it bottled up, and that's what we're here to get. That we made a couple tinctures, and that was the aim. I appreciate you all watching.